Hello everyone, my name is Boulevard here for giantslayertv to bring you the top 3 decks of Fight Night Legends. In this series, we'll follow along with Fight Night Legends every single week and take a look at top performing decks, popular decks, and decks to keep an eye on. Before we get into the video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay up to date on all the latest content, and if you're interested in playing in a future Fight Night Legends, you can find an application to do so at giantslayertv/LOR. There you'll fill out a form of some basic information like your name, country of residence, and some information about your previous accomplishments in Legends of Runeterra. While we're always looking to highlight new talent, this is still a competitive tournament. To break down exactly what Fight Night Legends is, it's an 8-person invitational tournament taking place on Thursday, Friday, and Monday for Brazil, Europe, and the Americas respectively. The event runs in the standard Riot Lock format, meaning each player brings 3 decks with no overlapping champions or region combination, and bans one of the opponent's decks to play a best of 3 in which they must win with their 2 unbanned decks. The event is double elimination, and the top 2 players are invited back next week for a chance to prove themselves once again. As always, we kicked things off in Brazil, where I'm gonna be honest, I thought I was looking at the wrong week. I thought I was looking at a 2020 event, but no, in this the year of Fight Night Legends Brazil 2022, it was Jocund with Gnar Swain, Plunder, and Frostbite midrange taking home the win in the Bracket Reset Grand Finals. Trivo once again took second place, this time with Sivir Akshan, Yordles in Arms Demacia, and Yordles in Arms Piltover and Zon. Then came time for Europe to play out their tournament, and after Floppy Mudkip became the first 5-time champion 2 weeks ago, his rival, 4-time champion Ultraman, found himself in the grand finals. But it was Jocund who took home the victory with Sivir Akshan, Scouts, and Yordles in Arms Demacia. Ultraman will be returning next week for a shot to join Floppy as a 5-time winner, and he'll be returning thanks to his 2nd place finish with Darkness, Tri-Beam Control, and Field Rush. And Fight Night Americas was cancelled last week, and it will be picking up with the same scheduled roster on Monday. While we don't have our normal 3 events to look at, I still have narrowed down the top 3 decks. Coming in at number 3, we have Gnar Swain. Now, it's no secret that Brazil has loved Swain since his release, and while they're primarily the only region running him, it's impossible to ignore his back-to-back victories at BR Fight Night. While many players prefer to commit their Noxus Bandle City combination to either Bandle Tree or Narzig's Burn, Brazil continues to show everyone that they play by their own rules. The deck's litany of removal make it an appealing choice for players who want to play control while having a lower curve than something like Darkness offers, while still having access to those heavy-hitting Bandle City cards, most notably Conchologist, a card widely regarded as one of the best cards in the game, who is at his best when paired with Noxus. Speaking of Demacia, number 2 this week is going to be Sivir Akshan. This meta staple has been hanging around as a reliable fallback option since last summer and doesn't seem to be going anywhere as its popularity continues to trend upward during the Curious Journey season. The mid-range king took a 1st and 2nd place finish this week, tagging Pantheon out of the meta for the time being. While it may lose to Pantheon in a straight-up head-to-head, this is the option for players looking to hedge their bets against control, which was a pretty prevalent archetype last week and seems to be on the upswing, which of course fell flat in the face of all of the Sivir Akshan this time around. And finally, our number 1 spot goes to Yordles in Arms. Now I'm copping out a little bit and lumping Yordles in Arms together under one blanket spot on the list, primarily because the general game plan is similar enough, but also it would be boring if Demacia Yordles in Arms was number 1 and then Piltover and Zon Yordles in Arms was number 2, but it would also be disingenuous not to present it that way. As such, we're compromising by lumping them together, highlighting the 5 different variants that made the top 4 this week. Across 8 players, we had 8 Yordles in Arms decks, spearheaded by the standard Demacia version that took 1st and 3rd place in Europe, and 2nd place in Brazil. Piling onto that success, Trivo also played the Piltover and Zon variant, and then things got a little weird as Smooth Soloist took 4th place in Europe with 3 distinct Yordles in Arms decks, including a Bandle Tree deck that played a full 3 copies, as well as a Targon variant featuring Zoe and Starry Scamp, and he rounded that out with Fizz Zed Yordles in Arms featuring Seinen Thousand-Tailed. That's right, he got top 4 with 3 Yordles in Arms decks, none of which were Demacia or Piltover and Zon. The die has been cast, the limits have been tested, and with only 1 week left before the balance patch, it's going to take a miracle to knock Yordles in Arms off its throne. But that is all the time we have for now. Next week we will be back with all 3 Fight Night Legends tournaments, and then we get our first balance patch of the Curious Journey season, which will hopefully shake up this top 3 quite a bit. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and let me know down in the comments which deck you think can take that number 1 spot next week, or if we will be forced to bow down to Yordles in Arms one last time.